Hey guys, I'm about to make some oat flour chocolate cookies and I thought maybe you'd like to come along while I start these. Haven't started them yet, so I got everything measured out, kind of, sort of. So first thing we're going to do is I've softened my butter just a little bit and we're going to use a half cup of butter, and this is unsalted butter. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, so it'll beep in just a minute, letting me know that it's ready. Okay, let me get a spatula. Of all things, I should know to have a spatula ready. To that, I have 2/3 of a cup of coconut sugar. If you've never used coconut sugar, I think it has a lower glycemic index, but I know that it's not a refined and a processed sugar like your white cane sugar would be. The smell of this just makes me want to take a spoon and take a big bite of it. I've not done that yet, but I'm thinking it might be really nice. It does not have, I wouldn't say it has a coconut flavor, but it definitely has a particular fragrance to it that is absolutely delightful. Every time I open in the container, if somebody's in my kitchen, I have to say, here, smell this. Doesn't this smell so good? So this is delightful. 2/3 of a cup of coconut sugar. We're going to turn the mixer on and beat this until it's light and fluffy, and then we'll add our other ingredients. It's very, very cold here today, so my butter is not softening as easily, of course, as it would during the summertime. It's probably, I think it's 72 degrees in my house, so. You might have to scrape the bowl down a couple of times. Got one egg. This is why I normally use a clear cup, because sometimes if I think maybe a piece of shell has fallen into the cup, I never add it directly into an ingredient. Well, I say I never do. I really try not to. If I'm in a huge hurry, I might, but I use a clear cup to put the egg into before adding it into our main ingredient here, or main ingredients here, because if there's a shell in it, I can always look underneath on the underside of the cup and see that it's in there. Okay, we're going to add our one egg to it and continue beating until it's, again, light and fluffy. It smells so good. I think that's, well, if it didn't have that egg in there, I could eat this right there. That just has the best smell. Oh my goodness. Okay, a teaspoon of vanilla, and we have our medicine dropper. So I know how much a teaspoon is because the line's on the side. Whoopsie, except for I dropped it in the mixer. Get back here. All right, got that in there. Then we need a teaspoon of baking soda. Which sounds like a lot, but when you're adding cocoa to something, it calls for more soda. We need a half teaspoon of salt, and I use pink Himalayan salt. And that sounds like a lot of salt too, but again, it's chocolate. It's got to offset the sweet too. And we need 2/3 of a cup of, they said cocoa powder, but I use cacao, and I'll show you what the bag looks like. This is what I buy, and I keep it in a glass container like this with the label on it, so I'll know exactly what's in there. I'm going to add this directly to it. You want to start your mixer off slow, or otherwise you'll have a cacao cloud in your kitchen, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Again, mix this until it's well incorporated. You want it soft, you want it fluffy, and you want everything mixed together very well, no streaks of anything. I'm going to go ahead and scrape that bowl down again because I don't want to see any dry ingredients when I look down in there. Now, if you're wondering why I use cacao, nobody's ever asked me before, but I think I've explained this before. Cacao is unprocessed cocoa. So you've got cacao, and then they process it with alkaline and turn it into cocoa powder, or non-alkaline, still processed other cocoa powder. But I like the fact that it's not as refined and processed. And so that's why I use it. And I've had really good results in it no matter what I've used it in. So I'm happy with it. All right, so this is just pretty much considered our wet mixture. Our dry mixture comes from 1.25 cups of oat flour, or I just ground up my quick oats, and this is what I used. And I put it through the Vitamix, so it is a fine powder. I'm going to pour it directly from the container that I blended it in to put in here. Now, because this doesn't contain gluten, there's no risk of giving it an off texture. So you wouldn't say, oh, don't overmix that, or don't overmix it like brownies or cake mix or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's oat flour. You're not going to overmix it. So just pour it in there. And we're going to mix it with the wire whisk beater, again, which I normally would say, don't beat it so long if it's something that has gluten in it. Now, these are not certified gluten-free oats, but if you're working with someone or you need something that is guaranteed not to have gluten in it, by all means, buy certified gluten-free oats. These are just oats which don't contain gluten, but it doesn't mean it's not been cross-contaminated. It may have been processed on a line that something had gluten in it. So. I wish you could smell this. This just smells so good. The coconut sugar and the cacao is a phenomenal smell. All right, get that off our beater, and we'll put these on our baking sheet. All right, I already have my parchment torn for these baking sheets, and this is what our mixture looks like. It smells so good. All right, I do not like for my parchment to curl up, and so I just have a little bottle of distilled water, and I give it a couple of spritzes, and it lies down. Now you can flip it over, but it's still going to lie down. You can also crumple it up if you want to, and that works perfectly well, but never just take parchment straight out of the box and think it's going to behave itself by lying down. It's not going to do it. All right, we have a, stay down there, boy. All right, we have a 1.5 tablespoon cookie dough scoop, and that's what it recommends to use. So this dough is lovely. It's not too sticky and it's not too dry. It's really nice. I don't know how many cookies this is supposed to make, but it said line 2 baking sheets with parchment, so. But because this cookie dough scoop is a little bit larger than most cookie dough scoops, you could probably make more if you make them smaller, obviously. All right, this little spritz. And again, that's just distilled water. Maybe I'll turn it back over. All right, I'm going to work with getting some more of that dough off of the wire whisk attachment and get the rest of this out of here, and we'll be right back and I'll show you flattening them out and put them in the oven. Okay, I have a piece of plastic wrap here and I'm going to try and see if this works. I tried it on something recently and I was like, oh, this works better than parchment, so we're going to give this a shot. Put it down here. I want to use my clear glass cup that I measured the cocoa or the cacao in, just so I can see how much I'm pressing down. I just don't want it to stick. Okay, that's doing pretty good. These are going to be in nice shape. You could always add pecans or almonds or something like that to this if you wanted to, even on the top, so they'll toast a little bit in the oven while they're baking. These are only going to bake for 8 to 10 minutes. But I'm going to leave these plain this time just for the sake of, I want you to see what they look like, and I can always add pecans or something to them next time. All right, that looks pretty decent. We're going to pop these in the oven, and then I'll turn the camera back on when we start to get them out. You can see what they look like when they're done. My oven's fixing to beep in just a second, and these should be done. Oh my goodness. These are so pretty. These are pretty much perfect. Okay, if you think I might have licked that spatula, you could be right. That dough was off the charts good. I'm just telling you. I've not tasted the baked cookies yet, but if they taste anything like the dough, these might be my new favorites. All right, so they made 16, 17, 18, 19. They made 20 cookies. I might save one for my husband. Maybe not though. Oh my goodness, these smell absolutely incredible. I could see putting some pecans on these, and that would only make them better. But if you don't like pecans, these will be just fine, just like this. So anyway, recipe will be in the description. As always, we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. And man, I hope you make these. These are so good. They're so good. I don't know if using regular granulated sugar, they would get this good of a smell and a taste. Don't even try it. Just go get you some coconut sugar. This will be your new favorite cookie. You're welcome. See ya.